Hello everyone, this is another Star Wars Lego MOC. This is my Chelonian-2 bomber, and this was designed for a Lego Star Wars MOC contest over at TJ the Brickwright's channel. He's an awesome guy with awesome Lego Star Wars MOCs, and pretty much year round he always has at least one Star Wars MOC contest going on. And for this contest we were asked to kind of redesign or rethink the Resistance bomber from The Last Jedi. So I'll kind of explain my thought process as we take this bad boy for a little spin. So a little bit about my thought process for improving the bomber from The Last Jedi was, first off, we see the bombs being dropped in The Last Jedi on the Dreadnought ship, I believe. The bombs are dropped, and dropping bombs requires gravity. But there's no gravity in space, so people think, were they like magnetized or propelled or something? But they just looked like big bowling balls kind of falling from the Resistance bomber. So, I also thought the Resistance already has Y-wings. Those are bombers. Those work pretty well. So it would make more sense to have an atmospheric bomber, which, yeah, Y-wings could probably work in atmosphere too. But I wanted to make something like this ship that had wings on it. And I was thinking about the, TIE fighters, they have kind of wings, but they're also like solar panels. And on Scarif in Rogue One, we see the TIE Striker. Those TIE Strikers have wings, and they're more equipped to handle the atmosphere. So I thought it'd be cool to have, a Resistance bomber specifically for atmosphere, and which is why I added, these 4 winglets you see here. Another thought that I had while designing this Chelonian-2 bomber was that the Resistance bombers that we see in The Last Jedi taking on that Dreadnought, they have one type of bomb. I refer to them as those bowling ball type bombs. That's kind of weak, Those, I guess they did destroy the Dreadnought, and they have a time and a place for them, but I thought it'd make sense for, I thought it'd make sense that different bombs would fit different missions. Maybe you'd have one massive target and you needed to place one massive bomb, or you needed a bunch of little torpedo type missile bombs or some ion bombs or something. Either way, I thought it would make sense to have interchangeable modules of different different sections, and I kind of call them bomb sheaths. And we'll look at the features of this ship now, and we'll be able to see some of those, that interchangeability and customization for whatever mission the Resistance is on. There's a ton of features to this ship. We're going to look at the crew and the cockpit, the shield generator, the different extra weapons and hidden weapons also. But first off, we're going to talk about the modularity of this Chelonian-2 bomber, because that's kind of the main feature, the ability to change out munitions for different missions according to whatever the Resistance has to do. So this, I've talked about these bomb sheaths, okay? So this Chelonian-2 has 2 bomb sheaths, and right now this is in its standard configuration. The first bomb sheath actually isn't occupied by any bombs, but it's this turret, which is actually on top and on bottom. I'll show you in 1 second. The second bomb sheath is occupied right here by a bunch of bombs. This turret, as you can see, it can be moved like so. And when I move it on the top, it actually moves on the bottom. It's a little hard to see. You can see it right there. I'll get it moving for you. There we go. But this, I wanted to have at least one kind of top and bottom turret, because if this is going out on a mission, there's not a large fighter escort, it's gonna need these. It still has its bombs, which are right here. These were really fun to build, and I'm glad I had enough pieces here to do this. But this is kind of one main complement of bombs that this bomber has. So I'd figure that if this is going out kind of on its own, or just has a small escort of fighters, it's gonna need its top and bottom turret, and it can still have a full load of bombs. But if this is going out, maybe there's 2 or 3 of these bombers, maybe there's a whole squadron or 2 of X-Wings that are escorting these bombers. You can actually take out this, takes a little wiggling to get this out, but you can actually remove this section as well and put in some more bombs, like another full stack of these torpedo bombs, whatever you want to call them. Those just go in like so. This kind of gives it a different look, but still pretty, I still kind of like the look of it. The turrets look pretty cool. And again, here's the turrets. If we put them back kind of in the proper position, this is how it works. So, no gunner like sitting right here. The gunner will be sitting in the main crew area, but just showing that a little more closely. So these 2 sections can be removed. So I'm just gonna take both out. And this is called a Chelonian-2. The 2 comes from the 2 bomb sheaths. So I imagine you could just have a normal Chelonian bomber just with maybe 1 smaller, 1 bigger section, all the way up to Chelonian-3, Chelonian-4. Just kind of elongate it, maybe beef it up a bit. You can have more bomb sheaths, but the number after the name Chelonian refers to how many bomb sheaths it has. So I made a bunch of these interchangeable sheaths, or kind of fillers for the sheaths. So first off, there's these 2. And I already showed what they looked like when they're loaded up. I also made it so you can just pop these off very easily. And then you can add different things, get this out of the way, such as these ion bombs. I've used these little contraptions in a ton of my MOCs. First one was the Feldo, which was the first contest over at TJ the Brickwright's channel. And then also you can have, if you just need 1 massive single bomb, this could maybe take the place of that, or fulfill that need of the resistance. I call this the chunker. Okay, so these can be loaded up like so. This guy just pops right on, and then these can just be loaded. I have to finagle a little bit. They might be a little too tall right now, but that's okay. Those are loaded up, and you're good to go. Very swooshable ship. I try to make it, nice and sturdy, but very swooshable. That's always very important to me. All right, so let's get this loaded back into its normal configuration, talk about the rest of the features. All right, so this ship has a crew of 3. There's 1 pilot and 2 targeter/gunners, whatever you want to call them. And the way they enter this ship is through this top roof hatch here. And in a second, you can kind of see the ladder that they go down into. This also opens up, but that's just kind of how I built it. People are meant to go through here. But for us humans who need to access this space, this whole entire section can actually just pop off. And here is the driver's, or the pilot's spot, excuse me. And then here are the gunner/targeter spots that the crew fits in. Let's load them up and see how they look inside. All right, so the pilot has a couple panels, couple kind of steering levers there. And I wanted to make sure that there was kind of a pathway on the side. I thought it was, I don't know, kind of looked like almost like a submarine where you drop down and there's like a hallway on one side. I don't know if I'm making that up, but it's kind of what I was reminded of. And then these guys have 1 massive screen here and a couple panels and other levers as well. In the back, there's this ladder going up to the roof hatch here, and then some supplies or whatever you want those to be in the corners there. All right, and everyone has to be leaned back a little bit, but this just clicks in like so. And you can see our pilot right there in the front. Sorry, it's a little difficult to focus. There's kind of a better shot. All right, up in the front here, we have 3 headlights on either side. And also there is a forward medium blaster on either side as well. That would be more to kind of scare people from approaching them head on. This doesn't necessarily do a whole bunch of, air-to-air combat, but it still has some defenses. Moving back towards the other features of the ship. So kind of just talking overall design is just the kind of heavy hull of armor that this has. I wanted all this tiling to look like it was just, really thick, impenetrable armor. On the sides, we got, kind of these beefed up sections to protect that second bomb sheath there. But I wanted to just make it look kind of like a tank almost, just very heavy armor plating. And that's kind of where the name comes from, actually. So I call this the Chelonian-2. I explained that the 2 was for the 2 bomb sheaths, but Chelonian is a type of species of turtles in real life, and I kind of wanted to give it a turtle appearance. So if you imagine that these are kind of the front fins of a turtle and these are the back fins, that's kind of loosely what I was going for, kind of overall shape-wise. But also turtles, as you know, they have heavy armored hulls, those big shells they carry around on their backs. So I wanted to kind of have, the overall shape with the fins of a turtle, but also the heavy armor plating to kind of invoke the thought that this is a heavily armored bomber. And for further protection, this has a shield generator that is removable. This just comes out like so. Figured this can, it's always fun to have little removable things on your Lego MOCs, but I also wanted to have it removed because this would be like extremely taxed during a firefight or something where this just is getting pelted. And sometimes these shield generators would burn out or be spent basically. So it's easily removed. So you can just pop in a new one, in between missions or whatever. You didn't have to get it out and, effect repairs on it. They're just they're almost like disposable ones. Just nice, quick, interchangeable shield generators. And that further protects this ship, it's not just the heavy plating, but it's also the shield generator as well. While we're back here, this has 3 heavy engines. On each side, there's a set of 5 sublight boosters. This thing is decently fast. It's better in a straight line. The wings help it with some atmosphere. But I mean, mainly I just like the look of these engines. They're pretty standard. They're nothing too fancy. But I do like the hidden sublight engines, the sublight boosters, whatever you want to call them, underneath these tail wings here. All right, so let's look at the underside of this ship to show a few of those last little features here. So I'm just gonna turn it upside down like so. I think the shield generator's about to fall out. But here you can see, first off, that second bomb sheath. Here's the underside turret here. The underside of the cockpit, and these forward medium blaster cannons. And for extra features, we have, first off, good old-fashioned seismic charge. It's always fun to include these. Let me get this to focus a little bit. Always fun to include these on vehicles, especially, these bomber-type vehicles. It can be, ideally it's loaded up with several different kinds of bombs or missiles or whatever to best complete the mission. All right, so we'll stick this back, look at the last couple extras of this Chelonian-2. So you can see on either side, there are these missile-looking things, and I call them the hole spiker guided missiles. And you know, if the primary target of this, the mission would be to, you know, like a capital ship or something, and you wanted to deliver this payload, but you couldn't get through, you know, a really thick hole, or maybe it was a massive fort somewhere and you wanted to get through like some, you know, some heavy plating, whatever, then you can use these hole spiker missiles, kind of punch your way through and then deliver the rest of the payload here. And these just fit in nice and easy on either side here. I had a lot of fun building, kind of designing this ship. TJ had talked about, you know, doing some like concept art of what we wanted, and this is a quick kind of look at what mine is. So kind of got the overall shape with the, you know, kind of main section in the front and the winglets here. I thought about adding another turret there, but I decided the top and the bottom one were good enough, and I wanted a shield generator here. So overall, I kind of, I overall got the design. I tweaked it. I think it looks better than this original concept art was, but just thought it'd be fun to kind of show that off. Also, you can see there was just one bomb sheath, and I kind of made this a little smaller and made it 2 instead. So thanks again to TJ the Brickwright for hosting yet another awesome contest. This is my Chelonian-2. I had a lot of fun building it. Hope you enjoyed.